Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It is your favorite dark sorcerer here, Angelus, son of Abaddon. And today, I should say, I'd like to talk about how to develop your psychic abilities. This is one of the requests that have been brought forth by somebody who follows my channel. Okay, and I brought my cell phone with me along with my laptop today, so let me see here. I want to read it to you so you can actually understand exactly what the question was. Okay. All right. Nathan B. Alex, about 8 hours ago, posted, can you please tell how can I develop my psychic senses? Okay. That is a very, very good question. I don't get very many good questions, especially those that are that direct upon a certain topic. Normally, people would ask, "How can you do a video on this? Can you know, what do you suggest on this or that? Okay, what do you think about this individual? Stuff like that." But very few individuals literally come under my channel and actually ask a specific question like this. So I wanted to get under here and do this video for him. Okay? Nathan B. Alex. This is my reply to you. Okay? Now, as I stated underneath my own channel, when I replied to you, there are many, many different techniques that can be employed, especially in this area. If we go back to, say, for an example, let's say time around Dion Fortune. Okay. Dion Fortune was heavily into spiritualism, specifically enlightenment. One of the best techniques that she always utilized was channeling. Okay. Not just channeling and constant channeling, but also a form of mantra. Okay. Specifically in meditation. She would light the incense and she would sit there with a calm demeanor, putting herself into a state of relaxation while working on her breathing techniques. There are numerous books today just on enlightenment, things on ascension magics and dissension magics, and the whole lot. Even Christopher Penziak wrote a book called The Temple of Inner Witchcraft. Okay, and this is a thick book. Okay, I'm talking black, orange, little bit of yellow mixed in. Awesome book. Okay, I highly recommend his techniques to you because they do work. They've been tried and tested by moi. Okay, I don't recommend anything that I have not done myself. Okay, especially when it comes to somebody else's work. All right, you may have to tweak somebody's techniques to fit your own and to find out what works for you, but there's a lot that can go into play here. And hello, Shelly333. Now, some of the best techniques that I have learned over the years is a good count. Okay. When you're doing techniques in breathing, a lot of scuba divers, before diving without a scuba tank, remember this, without a scuba tank, would oxidize their own blood. Okay. Now, what does this mean? How do they do this? Much like the martial arts, which deals with breathing exercises, a ki, or that of working within a very tight confine, such as a deformation, what the hell do they call those things? It's right here, but it doesn't want to come out. It's a deprivation chamber. There we go. Okay. Ollie, what's going on? A deprivation chamber literally shuts off a lot of noise, sound variance. Most importantly, it lowers your oxygenation into your lungs and into your body. In this case, before you dive, you would work heavy with your breathing. Think Lamaze, in a sense, where you have to type thing. You know what I'm saying? Right there, you're getting the blood flowing. You're opening up your bronchial tubes. Okay? You are literally opening up your blood vessels and your arteries to take in more amounts of oxygen. Okay? Well, enjoy physical therapy, Holly. That's always fun. Trust me, I know. I've had to do that with my knee after my last knee injury. Sucks to all hell. I'd rather go to church. Just kidding. No, I would not go to church. Too freaking boring. But, anyways, my point is this: when you go into your ritual chamber, there's a meditation called the void meditation where you sit in complete darkness. You concentrate on your breathing. Think of a count of five. Okay. You breathe in for 5 seconds, you hold it for 5 seconds, and then you breathe out for 5 seconds. Okay. This not only brings in more oxygen into your blood, but it opens up your brain. It gets you into a meditative state, a relaxed state. You may feel a little anxious at the beginning because of what you're doing, especially if you're sitting in a chair. Okay, if you're sitting Indian style in a chair, or you're sitting like a normal person at a kitchen table, okay, same exact thing. You will feel it in your core. Okay, this is nothing to get discouraged about. Okay, this just simply gets you into that state. It's even counting backwards. In the Temple of Shamanism, Shamanic Witchcraft by Christopher Penziak, he actually puts forth a an exercise that literally works. Okay, where you're sitting down, you're doing the mantra, and you're letting everything go. You're shutting down the outside world into your own person. You know, your ears, the whole king caboodle, and you start tapping into your spiritualism. Okay, your spiritual side. And what he does is he recommends visualization of some form of, let's say, for example, in his case, he put forth a net, kind of like you would have in a screen door. Okay. Picture yourself going towards that screen, pushing your way through. And once you get through, you're at a base of a tree in a forest. It's a giant tree and you look down and there's a hole in the tree, and you picture yourself going through that hole in the tree. See the spiral staircase, and you go up it. And at the top, your physical altar is there. But in this case, it is your spiritual altar. This is the astral plane. The astral plane is where you really want to get into, because this is where all things are manifested. Okay, not just the conjuration of spirits, the communing with spirits, but it also helps you tap into your cognitive abilities. Okay, visualization is the first physical thing that you want to master, not just your breathing. Breathing helps quite a bit. Yeah, especially the way you feel after that, Holly. Definitely. It feels pretty good, and then you realize everything's swollen because it's been worked to death. Yeah. And here you are a few months later, and you're still having the same issues. But it all comes down to the weather as well. So I get what you're saying, Holly. But anyways, yeah, this all goes into effect. Okay, the breathing helps you get into the state because the thing you want to remember is that you're going from the conscious mind, your everyday mind, your waking mind. Okay, this is where all kinds of afflictions happen to you on a subconscious level. You know, the subliminal messages that the world puts out. This is the stuff that you want to get away from. This is why shamans and medicine men and sorcerers and sorceresses alike stay away from the mundane population who are not a part of their world. Which explains why my son's mother keeps trying to get me into the 20 whatever century this is today. Every day ends in Y. I don't understand technology that much. But she's constantly trying to upgrade me in that area. It's bad enough I got to use the cash register when I'm at work. But this is stuff that you want to let go of. This is things that you got to get rid of. So the first thing that I would recommend is going into a dark room. Light some incense, charcoal into the burn pot. Let it burn down a little bit. Light some incense stick or sticks. I recommend at least 6 or 7 sticks of various different kinds. But it comes down to what your path working is. Okay? Because I work with demons and I work as a necromancer, not just a traditional Satanist. Okay. And I do work within Palo Mayumbi and Voodoo. Okay. Haitian Voodoo. I work a lot with death. Okay. So me personally, I would light anything from Nachampa to white sage to sandalwood, amber, lavender, things of death. Okay, the spiritualism. Now, white sage, I would recommend before and after just to cleanse the area of the energies and the currents. Now, if it helps you relax, go ahead and utilize it. Okay, but normally I would not recommend utilizing sage of any kind during a ritual. Um, certain things like that, and you could even utilize dragon's blood incense sticks. Okay, a lot of this stuff you can get for $1 over at your local Walmart. Okay, candlelight, a single candle can work great, but like I said, it comes down to what you're working on. In this case, you're looking to further your psychic development. All right, so like I said, I would go into a dark room. I would light the incense, the charcoal, and I would sit in a relaxed state. You don't want your muscles cramping up, and you don't want to. I recommend Indian style myself. I like to sit in my chair, Indian style. Now I've got arms on this chair. It's an office chair, so it's something that really is comfortable to me because I get to lean back, I can lean forward, I don't have to uncross my legs to reach the altar. Okay, I can swivel, so I can reach over and grab what I need from the desk next to it or in one of the drawers that I have all my ingredients in, or I can turn completely around and face my other altar. Okay, so it comes down to how much room you have, what you have to work with. Now, in this case, like I said, the black void meditation really works. This is where you go in and you sit in complete darkness. Okay, as you let the incense burn, it's filling up the room. You I would recommend doing this when you're alone in your apartment, your home, so you have no distractions. I would recommend turning off every piece of technology that you have: cell phone, laptop, iPad, whatever. I think they actually have tablets now or smartwatches. Turn them off too. Okay. Sit there, pick a mantra. Okay. A mantra really helps you to focus. Okay. You can sit there and do a Latin incantation, like say, I always recommend prayers. I always recommend some form of repeating sentence, like in nomine dinastri satanae luciferi excelsi, or in nomine spiritus domini mundi est, and then name off the spirit that you're working with or wanting to work with. Okay. Same exact thing. But as you're doing this, relax yourself. You can have your hands in a like this in your lap, or even knowledge. Okay? Just sit there. Relax. Relax. That's the biggest thing that you need to do. And it's the hardest thing that you will ever have to do outside of letting go of the normal. Okay? Your everyday waking mind. Now, as you sit here and you're staring off into the darkness, and let the images flow naturally towards you. You don't have to sit there and close your mind. You don't have to close your eyes. Just sit there and stare off into the darkness and see what comes at you. Learn to harness your other senses, because most people do not utilize what they have. Most of the time, it's touch, sight, and smell. But what about hearing? Okay? What do you hear? What can you see beyond seeing? Even in the book of Matthews, it is said in, I want to say it's chapter 7, I think, where it says, if I remember correctly, it says, and I quote, "You see without seeing, you hear without hearing, and you have knowledge, but you understand not." Think of it this way. Every day, what do you get hit with? TV, negative influences. You get hit with everything has to be about sex and fitness and medical drugs. Get rid of it. It does not belong in our world, and it will limit and hinder you in your process. In this case, if this does not work for you, utilizing the smell of the incense, utilize a mantra, like I said. Om Kali Ma. Om Kali Ma. E.A. Koetting put this in the Book of Darkness, or the Works of Darkness. He even put the one he utilized. Now, if you can't remember the one he uses, do something simple, like the moon, the stars, and wisdom, or knowledge. Okay, knowledge, moon, and stars. Alpha, beta, omega. Something simplistic that you can repeat over and over again as you are meditating in the stance. Utilize numbers. Numbers help you a lot. Count back 10 to 0, and then if need be, do it again from 14 to 0, and likewise in reverse at the end. It helps put you under, and it helps to bring you out. Now, let's say, for example, that incense really doesn't help you relax, or you can't sit for long periods of time in darkness because you're going to jerk. You're going to, your muscles are going to tense up. What else can you do? Drink some tea, green tea, mint tea, um, some form of tea that you like. Now, personally, catnip tea is the best, especially to help you relax. If you like me and you got restless leg syndrome, or you are constantly on the go and you don't really have the time to relax, Get into a comfortable position. It doesn't matter if you're laying on your bed or you're in an altar room in Indian style on the floor or in an office chair or just a plain old chair. Catnip tea will help you relax. It is a normal and natural herbal drink. Now remember, it is only one pinch per cup of tea. Okay? It's a very old pagan tradition, okay, that goes back hundreds of years. Now, today we actually have two forms of catnip too, so you want to look at the potency of it. Now, personally, I would not recommend anything more than a pinch because then it can become toxic. All right. There are brews that you can utilize, things that will help you within brews and through herbalism that will help you relax, help you get into that spiritual mind state, that psychic development state. I would also recommend utilizing energy currents, learning to manipulate them. Okay. Now, as Holly just pointed out here, I have tons of black, red, and white candles. Now, first of all, black candles are what you want to use the most of. Okay. A white candle deals with purity, but it also deals with the celestial. Okay. Especially if you're dealing with Satan or Lucifer. Um, let's go with Baal, Belial, Samael, even Azazel. Okay. A red candle can be utilized as well, but it cannot, especially on a satanic altar, but it cannot change or supplement or substitute rather any of the other two. Okay, it cannot substitute a white candle or a black candle. Now, before you light any other candles, I would recommend working with one candle alone. Okay, I recommend tea leaf candles personally. Pillar candles are all right for long-term rituals. Okay, namely because of the fact those of us who have literally stayed in the altar room for like 3, 4 hours at a time will tell you need a pillar candle or one of those big thick candles. Okay, and that will last you about a week's time. But a tea leaf candle is quick to replace, and it is something small that you can set in the center of your altar and actually pay attention to. Remember what I said earlier about visualization. Okay? Visualization with candles work great. Focus on the candle flame, but not directly at the candle flame, just a little bit below it. You'll have that little notch on the candle itself, and then you'll have the wick and then the flame. Okay? Now, right where that wick is where you want to visualize. That's where you want to focus on because that little black little void will help you to open up that doorway, that gate. I would also recommend doing this with incense as well because it does help, but it comes down to what you utilize amongst your path. Oleums and oils will help you do this as well. Now, personally, I like lavender. Okay, the little oil, you pour it in the pot and you have a tea leaf candle underneath that heats it up, especially if you don't like the smoke, okay, from the candles or from incense sticks. This is an alternative form to this. This aspect will help you to relax in darkness. So all you have is that one light, that one little light that you can focus on. Put your hands on either side of it. Move your fingers a little bit, okay? In pyromancy, this is where you learn to manipulate that current to get the candle flame to do what you want it to do, okay? But at the same time, you're not only taking energy set in a vampiric sense from that burning wick into that that flame into yourself, but you're also putting it back in. Remember, the right hand, the give and take, the left hand is simply the taking. Okay? But you can picture and envision that energy going in one hand, up the arm, over through the shoulders, the upper back to the other shoulder, down through the arm, and going right up through your fingertips. You can learn to direct that energy current. But you want to work on your breathing and your visualization as well. This is the big thing that will help you develop. It may even benefit you and behoove you to envision a chessboard, okay? But instead of the chess pieces, utilize alchemical symbols and play multiple boards at once, okay? This not only challenges you on a mental level, but on a subconscious visual level, you are really peering out into the void and picturing yourself traversing this. Now, a lot of people, like I said, cannot sit there in silence for a very long time, not without discipline, focus, and committed control. Okay. Now, if you have, what are some of those things today? You have Pandora today, you have YouTube. Now, the thing I hate about YouTube is now they've added in all of these little, commercials and these Facebook links and all this other crap that, it's just a waste of fucking space, in my opinion. It is a waste of fucking time and space. Okay. So if you're into demonolatry, look up demonic ends. Okay. There's a lot of them on there. I like the old school ends. Okay. The ones that have the black screens and they have numerous different deities. A lot of times you'll find the 72 Goetic demons, okay, of the Goetia. You'll also have a few others mixed in, like Hecate or Santa Morte or Satan, stuff like that. That you'll find in there in the mix as well, not just Abaddon or Anubis or whatever, but you'll find these. These are like, what is it? Anywhere from 20 to 30-minute ends. Okay. So I would recommend putting it on a repeating cycle. Okay. Now, what do I mean by repeated cycle? You have the choice of going through one video at a time, or that automatic goes from one video to the next. Now, personally, I like it when it goes from one video to the next, even in music videos. But it comes down to the type of ritual that you're working, the type of meditation. In this case, let's take a look at the demonic ends. You want to commune with these spirits. Not only will they help you and share with you secrets the more you work with them, but the music and the rhythm will help open you up to their current. Music such as, say, Rob Zombie, or, let's go with Mozart, maybe even Robert Johnson, you know, Sold My Soul at the Crossroads. The old bluegrass singer from the early 1950s put out 2 albums. Old school. I'm talking just with a regular guitar, no acoustics, no nothing. Beautiful. Okay? Listen to the strumming of the guitars. Listen to the beats of the drums. Shamans have utilized drumming. Native Americans, the Indians worldwide, even the Amazons utilized drums. Necromancers utilized herbalism. Okay? Dark sorcerers, the old mages, magi, and sage practitioners, the Hexa, the Strega, the Agi, all utilized alchemy and herbs, plants, poisons, you name it, to help get you into these rhythmic alignments with the currents. There's a lot of things out there that you can do. mantras, ends, music, dancing. I mean, look at voodoo for an example. A lot of times, voodoo practitioners, especially the ceremonies that they do, reminds me of the apostolics. Okay. And this is why. When the dietas start flowing, okay, when that current starts flowing, you know, emotions become heightened, your senses become heightened, you start getting into the rhythm. I sat there in the apostolic church one for like 3 years while I was learning to become a minister. And it was funny because I'd watch these grown men just start getting teary eyed. I mean, I'm talking blubbering like little children. I'd watch them jumping up and down, hooting and hollering. I'm talking crying out, hollering out, running around the pews. Okay, dancing. I've watched. I'm watching all the. It's not just the guys; it's also the women. You got the kids. They're getting into these rhythms, these currents, especially if it's a ceremonial. You go into a voodoo ceremony and you watch how many people, if they're open to having these spirits come into their lives and even into a state of possession, even how they come in and just take over. And they have you can always tell who the lower are by what they do, smoking cigars or chewing on glass or walking on hot coals. You know, there's all kinds of telltale signs of who the spirits are and which current you're tapping into. But you got to be the one to open up to it in that case. You can work with divination tools such as cartomancy, runes. You can even utilize seals. Okay, demonic seals, for an example, like say the seal of the personal sigil of Astaroth or Belial, Sabnuk, Arioch, Mephistopheles, you name it. These seals, these writings are right there. You go into the old grimoire traditions and you're going to find the original seals and drawings from those time spans. You look compared to them today, they've changed quite a bit because you got a new era, a new current that's been formed, a new type of practice. Personally, I like the old school stuff. Sitting on a grave, pull out the deck of, pull out a candle, light you know, a couple candles, lay down the spread of the altar cloth and start utilizing, how should I say this? Cartomancy, runes, even cast the runes, read the runes. Hey, Nathan, this one's for you, by the way, buddy. You asked for it, I'm giving it. And that was an excellent question, by the way, that you asked. So, anyways, yeah, there's so many different ways. I mean, even if you go out into the woods and you go to a crossroads, you can easily take your athame and draw a circle of empowerment. Okay, draw a pentagram. If you don't have a crossroads in the woods, guess what? You can draw a big one where you can actually step into the center and commune. Okay, summon a spirit to help you and to guide you, even. These are all aspects of opening up and getting into touch with your heightened senses, these abilities that are dormant within yourself. Not just the mantras or the chakra or the kundalini, even. All of these things work. You can even go into Reiki or what do they call that? Pressure points to help releasing those currents. The blockages within your own body. Okay, a lot of times it's hard for an individual to do, which is why a lot of times when you get into this aspect, you're dealing with two or more people. Okay, a witch's den, for an example, up to three people. Anything more than that is considered to be a coven. So when you get into wanting to tap into heightened senses, to tap into a form of mediumship, look at the type of things that you're looking to do. Okay, what aspect of mediumship are you going for? Are you looking to be able to see and commune with spirits like a seer? Are you looking to be able to read somebody's mind? Are you looking to, say, for an example, becoming an empath? There's different classifications of mediumship. So you really have to look into that and get yourself into that mind frame. Herbs and plants, incense, always a good thing. Meditation beforehand, always a good thing, but you have to understand that it takes time and it takes development. Okay, each stage is important, from music to a a mantra, to sitting in darkness, to opening yourself up to whatever's around you, inviting these spirits to come to you, to work with you. A circle of empowerment will increase your sorcery, yes, but it is not considered to be what pagans and Wiccans today refer to as a circle of protection. It will not protect you from jack shit. Okay? And most it will do is just piss off the spirit, and if you're lucky enough, they'll sit there and ignore your ass. But I've seen people who try to bend a spirit to their will, and they've been literally, in the words of James Woods from John Carpenter's Vampires, they'll bend you over while ramming their mahogany up your ass with shoving a cross in your face. So there's a lot that you can do, but I would recommend inviting the spirits in. An invocation or an evocation. Invocation is where you bring them into your altar. Evocation is where you really have a personalized connection with them by inviting them into yourself. Okay? And you're welcome. Yeah, I hear that. We've got a windstorm up here right now where I'm at. And it's every so often I see the screen come up here and it says internet unstable. I'm waiting for it to reconnect. Kind of sucks. But my mother, where I'm at right now, the internet, it's kind of poor. So yeah, when you get into mediumship and wanting to advance your psychic abilities and develop them, there are books on psychic development that do work. There are books out there that will give you exercises like the Temple of Inner um, Witchcraft, or that of the Temple of Shamanic Witchcraft by Paul Huzon. Dion Fortune, one of the best mediums out there that I've ever come across. She's old school, she's British, little stuffy if you can get past the reading, but still very, very good. There are tools out there that will help you to benefit you in this area, such as a black scrying mirror, a pendulum, even runes and cartomancy, even divination bowls. Okay, look at getting a burn pot where you can burn ricin mixtures. Okay, herbs and plant mixtures. Utilize heavy amounts of incense sticks. Okay, peer off into I would recommend recording everything. Okay, seeing what goes on beyond your perception is something that is spectacular. I have literally thought that I've had no contact whatsoever with spirits, even after I'd meditated for about 45 minutes to about 2 hours before doing a ritual. And come to find out, they were right there within the candle flame, within the incense smoke. Sometimes you'll hear them, which is why it's good to start out with a void meditation and allow yourself to tap into these currents and to reawaken them within yourself. You had these things when you were a child, but due to the subliminal and physical suppressions of the world, you've closed them off. It's a matter of tapping into them and allowing them to develop again. You see kids today with imaginary friends, or what we as adults classify as an imaginary friend. People don't think that they could be spirits. I've had friends of mine. We've walked down the streets, walked past graveyards, and actually had conversations with spirits. We've had conversations with demonic that we've summoned. But when it comes down to it, it comes down to how much time and effort. The big key here, Nathan, is repetition. That is the big thing. Not just dedication and commitment, but repetition. Forms of worship, forms of contribution, such as offerings and sacrifices, really do help. And most importantly, your time. You're the only one who can open them up. You're the only one that can come into harmony within yourself. You want to look internally before you look externally. These are just some methods that I would recommend utilizing. And this will be up on my channel. I will not be taking it down. So if you want to come back and take notes, feel free to do so. Okay? There's a lot of systems out there, from spirituality to physicality. Okay? Things that will help you tap into the astral projection. Things like astral projection, things that will help you go into the astral, nexus, the void. Low witchcraft will only help you so much until you want to get into the high witchcraft. And when you get into what is known as high witchcraft, you're dealing with a whole new ballgame. Trust me on that. Knowledge of who you're working with also works well too. So keep that in mind as well. All right. Hope this has been educational. Hope it's been enlightening. And until next time, have a good one.